Picture this. You've finally saved up for that dream vacation. You've planned for months, booked the perfect hotel, and imagined yourself standing in front of that iconic landmark you've seen in countless photos. But when you arrive, instead of peaceful beauty, you're greeted by selfie sticks, tour groups, and crowds so thick you can barely move. Sound familiar? You're witnessing the dark side of wanderlust, where paradise becomes a victim of its own popularity.
Welcome back, fellow travelers! Today we're diving into a sobering reality that's reshaping the tourism industry worldwide. We're exploring 10 breathtaking destinations that have become casualties of their own success, where the very tourism that brings life and revenue has paradoxically begun to destroy what made these places special in the first place. From ancient temples crumbling under the weight of millions of footsteps to pristine ecosystems choking on plastic waste, these stories will make you rethink how we travel. Deaths that could be prevented by proper crowd control are becoming tragically routine. Each destination on our list represents a different aspect of overtourism, from infrastructure collapse to environmental destruction to cultural erosion. And the solutions being implemented might surprise you. Let's start with a place where you'd least expect to find traffic jams: Mount Everest. When you think of the world's tallest peak, you imagine isolation, challenge, and pristine wilderness. Instead, climbers now face human gridlock at deadly altitudes. The mountain that once tested only the most experienced adventurers has become accessible to anyone with enough money, creating bottlenecks where minutes can mean the difference between life and death. Hypothermia and altitude sickness become exponentially more dangerous when you're stuck in a line at 29,000 feet. The pollution problem has become so severe that some experts joke Nepal's national flower should be a discarded water bottle. Moving to warmer waters, Thailand presents a different but equally disturbing picture. Maya Bay, immortalized in Leonardo DiCaprio's film, The Beach, stretches just 820 feet yet was receiving 5,000 visitors and 200 boats daily before authorities intervened. Imagine a beach shorter than 3 football fields hosting crowds equivalent to a small town every single day. The environmental damage became so severe that officials closed the bay entirely, a dramatic move that sent shockwaves through the tourism industry. Thailand's response reveals something crucial. Sometimes preservation requires saying no to revenue. Croatia's Dubrovnik offers perhaps the most visible example of how popular culture can transform a destination overnight. Game of Thrones turned this medieval city into King's Landing, and suddenly everyone wanted to walk where dragons once soared on screen. The old city walls that survived centuries of real conflicts now face a different kind of siege from cruise ships, disgorging thousands of passengers daily. Local officials have resorted to installing cameras to track pedestrian traffic like highway monitoring systems, treating human beings like vehicles in a congested city center. Even isolated Iceland isn't immune to this phenomenon. With a population barely exceeding 350,000, the country welcomed over 2 million visitors in recent years. That's like a small American city hosting nearly 6 times its population annually. The infrastructure simply wasn't designed for such numbers, creating scenarios where tour buses crowd narrow roads built for local traffic, and popular attractions become overwhelmed during peak seasons. Bali's transformation tells one of the most dramatic stories of tourism evolution. In the early 1960s, this Indonesian island was relatively unknown to international travelers, with minimal hotel infrastructure. Fast forward to today, and it attracts an estimated 14 million annual visitors. The result? A garbage emergency requiring teams of workers to clear tons of waste daily from beaches that were once pristine. The irony is painful. People travel thousands of miles to see natural beauty, only to contribute to its destruction. The Galapagos Islands represent perhaps the most scientifically significant case of overtourism. These islands, which inspired Darwin's theory of evolution, face threats not from natural selection but from human selection of vacation destinations. UNESCO actually declared this World Heritage Site endangered due to tourism impacts on endemic species found nowhere else on Earth. The delicate ecosystem that took millions of years to develop now requires constant human intervention to survive human visitation. Cambodia's Angkor Wat demonstrates how ancient wonders cope with modern masses. This 800-year-old Hindu temple complex that once hosted fewer than 8,000 annual visitors now welcomes over 2.5 million. Stone structures that survived centuries of tropical weather and political upheaval now face erosion from millions of footsteps and constant vibrations from tour buses. Officials have implemented visitor caps and increased ticket prices, essentially using economics to control access to history. Venice presents the classic European over-tourism nightmare. With approximately 30 million annual visitors in a city built for a fraction of that number, locals have become minorities in their own neighborhoods. The situation has grown so desperate that officials fine people for sitting in public spaces and have banned large cruise ships from the historic center. The city is literally sinking while simultaneously drowning in tourists, creating a perfect storm of environmental and cultural crisis. Spain's Mallorca represents the package tourism extreme. During peak season, the island processes over 1,000 flights and 17,000 cruise passengers daily. Anti-tourist activists now greet visitors with signs declaring that tourism kills cities, a stark reversal from the traditional hospitality culture. The government has responded with tourist taxes and restrictions on vacation rentals, acknowledging that unlimited growth isn't sustainable. Finally, Amsterdam tops our list as perhaps the most comprehensive example of over-tourism's urban impact. Nearly 20 million annual visitors overwhelm a city center designed for pedestrians and bicycles, not tour groups and rolling suitcases. Residents in surrounding neighborhoods complain about tourists treating residential areas like theme parks, fundamentally altering the character of communities that have existed for centuries. What makes these stories particularly relevant today is how they're forcing us to reconsider the relationship between travel and responsibility. Each destination is implementing different solutions, from visitor caps and higher taxes to seasonal restrictions and infrastructure improvements. Some focus on dispersing crowds to alternative locations, while others limit numbers entirely. The common thread running through all these cases is the tension between economic benefits and environmental or cultural preservation. Tourism provides jobs, foreign currency, and economic development, especially in developing countries. But when that tourism exceeds a destination's carrying capacity, it begins destroying the very attractions that draw visitors in the first place. These 10 destinations serve as laboratories for sustainable tourism solutions. Their struggles and adaptations are shaping policies worldwide, influencing how we balance accessibility with preservation. Whether through technology, regulation, or education, each location is pioneering approaches that other destinations will likely adopt. The next time you're planning a trip, consider these stories. Research your destination's current challenges, travel during off-peak times, explore lesser-known alternatives, and remember that responsible tourism isn't just about where you go, but how you go there. Because the future of travel depends on learning from these cautionary tales today.